You think you're funny, do you? Funny. Funny, do you? Funny, do you? Funny, do you?
You're listening to the Spirit Podcast.
Greetings, dear listeners, and welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Veil, where we shine a dim, flickering flashlight on the mysterious, the unexplained, and the downright peculiar. I'm your host, Beck, and as always, joining me is the ever-curious, ever-unpredictable Rachel. Hey, Rach.
Hey, Beck.
Together, we're going to dive headfirst into the strangest news stories this month has offered up, like an all-you-can-eat buffet, only slightly more nutritious. So pour yourself something strong, whether that's tea or absinthe, and let's step beyond the veil.
One will definitely get you there faster.
Yeah, In a story that sounds like it was ripped from the pages of a thriller novel, Victoria Goodwin, wife of Ghost Adventure star Aaron Goodwin, was arrested and charged with plotting to murder her husband, allegedly collaborating with a convicted killer. Victoria is accused of offering over $11,000 for the hit, even providing details about Aaron's whereabouts during filming. This shocking turn of events has left fans of the show stunned and serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes reality is stranger than fiction.
I really wonder if there's something in her, some sort of possession of some sort.
So you think it was something dark and evil, or do you think she was trying to get some money?
I mean, it's a really stupid way to get money. Like, she was either mentally ill, that she just was not thinking right, because that is just not talking to somebody that's in prison and all that. Really, really stupid on her part. But also, we got to think about Aaron and Zach, and just think about Zach's museum alone, what it does to people and how it affects people and what they expose themselves to all the time. And a lot of times Aaron is put in like the creepiest situations. Like, he always has to go alone in the basement.
But he does it. He always does it like a good little boy.
He does it. So what is around Aaron? If she's not really spiritually protected as much, she could be more vulnerable to things.
Our theory is it comes down to she was probably influenced by something dark. And partially, I think she wanted some cash. That's what I think. But I don't know.
Or she just wanted her own personal ghost.
Oh, wow. That's a creepy thing to say.
Yeah. But if that had went through, thank God it didn't. But I hope he would have haunted her endlessly.
Ghost style, like in Patrick Swayze's Ghost movie there.
Yeah.
Let's get into something classic. This month, the Loch Ness Monster has decided to poke her head up again, right on cue. A visitor captured a photograph showing a large dark mass beneath the tranquil waters near Dores Beach in Scotland. It's been described as one of the most compelling Nessie sightings of the year so far. Is it a prehistoric sea creature, an escaped prop from a bad 70s movie, or just a log floating with ambitions? That's for you to decide. Rach, why do you think Nessie keeps popping up year after year? Is it the mystery keeping her alive, or something more? Something scaled and slimy?
Maybe she's popping up because everyone's disturbing her. She's like, will you guys shut the hell up? I'm trying to rest down here in the waters.
Wouldn't it be insane if this whole time it's just been driftwood that's just been endlessly floating around?
That'd be funny.
Next, let's talk about dolphins. Not the ones at SeaWorld doing tricks, but the ones enlisted in global military forces. That's right. Countries like the U.S., Russia, and even Iran have long-standing programs training dolphins to detect mines, guard harbors, and potentially sabotage enemy divers. You may have already known the U.S. Navy has been using dolphins in military operations since the 1960s. But what's lesser known is that they weren't alone in this. The Soviet Union had its own secretive marine mammal program during the Cold War based out of the Black Sea near Sevastopol. Reports suggest Soviet-trained dolphins were used much for the same purpose, detecting mines, guarding naval bases, and even allegedly attacking enemy divers with harpoons or explosive devices strapped to them. When the Soviet Union dissolved, the fate of these dolphins became murky. Some reports claim they were sold to Iran in the early 2000s, fueling rumors that Iran, too, was building its own marine mammal unit. Russia officially reactivated their dolphin program around 2012, supposedly modernizing their technique. In 2022, satellite images even showed dolphin pens at Russia's naval base in Crimea during the height of the Ukraine conflict. Some speculated they were being used to guard against underwater sabotage. It seems these highly intelligent creatures continue to serve regardless of the political climate. But here's where it gets even more curious. Dolphins have long been believed to possess unique communication abilities, high-frequency clicks, whistles, and behaviors we still don't fully understand. Some researchers and even military personnel have noted their seemingly uncanny ability to anticipate human intentions or respond to commands without direct cues. Fringe theorists suggest that they might possess a form of telepathic communication, a non-verbal intelligence that could transcend what we know. And here's the kicker. The Marine Mammal Protection Act makes it illegal to interact with wild dolphins in the U.S. waters.
Man.
Officially, it's to avoid harming the animals or disrupting their natural behaviors, but could it also be to prevent dolphins from revealing classified information to civilians? After all, they've been trained and possibly conditioned by militaries, so who's to say what secrets they might communicate if someone knew how to listen?
I think dolphins have the ability to speak, verbalize for real with us, like our language. They can talk. I just saw a TikTok the other day. This woman and a dolphin, it was saying mommy to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that governments worry more about what the dolphins might say or how they'd say it?
Yeah. Dolphins are so intelligent, and if they're trained and they're down there in the waters, they know what's going on. Maybe dolphins can communicate with other sea life, and they're going to spill the tea.
Well, let's go a little further out there. If dolphins are as perceptive and telepathic as some suggest, what do you think it could mean for humanity if we crack their language?
I think some of us would be so intrigued and we'd learn a lot from the dolphins. It would probably be a viral TikTok trend, but for the rest of the world, it just wouldn't get across to anybody and they wouldn't even know. And they would just not make a big deal about it, just like they're trying to still do with the UAPs out there.
Why is it illegal for us to talk to dolphins? Maybe they're seeing shit under the oceans that is related to aliens.
Mm-hmm.
There could be cities under there that we are unaware of. And if the dolphins could talk to us or telepathically show us what's down there, it would be a game changer. I think that's totally a possibility.
Exactly.
Speaking of sea life, let's wade even deeper into conspiratorial waters.
Let's.
There's a TikTok trend making its rounds claiming that elite dinner parties are serving up mermaid meat. This story is making waves on TikTok and Reddit. Rumors are swirling that the ultra-wealthy elite are hosting clandestine dinner parties where the main course is none other than mermaid. Yes, you heard that right. This theory suggests that these mythical creatures are being hunted, served, and consumed for their alleged magical properties. According to various TikTok accounts, the narrative begins with an ex-convict fisherman who, struggling to find work, is recruited onto a fishing vessel with a peculiar mission to capture mermaids. The story goes that these mermaids are then sold to affluent individuals who host secretive gatherings, where attendees are required to sign non-disclosure agreements before partaking in the exotic feast. One particularly vivid account describes the mermaid flesh as sweet like scallops, rich like wagyu, offering a taste that purportedly awakens something deep in the senses. Some attendees even claim to experience visions of deep blue waters and a profound connection to the ocean after consuming the meat.
The fact that it's the elites that are eating these, it's just how much ultimate wealth and power just corrupts you. First, it's the pizza parties and all of that. You have everything and you have to just reach for what's forbidden.
Right.
And now if they are finding mythical creatures, mermaids, and just eating them just because they can, it's disgusting.
It really is. How much power do you need? Have you heard the rumors about Tom Cruise, allegedly?
I mean, there's a lot, so.
The ones with the fish.
Yes, but refresh my memory.
So there have been witnesses that claim they see him allegedly in seafood butchery shops, and he's picking up fish and taking them into the bathroom after a large fish wrapped in brown paper, brings it into the bathroom and does something to it, comes out of the bathroom and then disposes of it into garbage. Of course, this is rumors. This is like weird testimonies that people have. It's just so far out there and so crazy that I feel like it could be true.
Just because they can, because it's wrong. I don't know. I don't understand. I never want to understand. I never want that much power, corruption, whatever.
He's somebody I can imagine being at one of those mermaid parties.
Oh,
It's just so crazy.
it is.
Hey, Spirit Seekers. Enjoying the show? Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the Spirit. If you could you leave us a review on Apple or Spotify and share the love? We drop a new video every week over on our YouTube channel, covering paranormal, conspiracy, high strangeness, and more. Have questions or you want to share your own spooky story? Drop us a line at tothespiritpod@gmail.com. Stay spirited.
Every day we wake up, eyes still closed, and no one knows the things behind our shut eyelids, or where any of it leads. I was blind and hoping, now my eyes are open. None of what I see makes sense. My mind's a fence, but I'm still singing. Ooh la 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 la, life goes on, and I'm not done. When everything goes up in smoke, I loved you with the very heart you broke.
Well, let's return to terra firma, specifically. County Offaly, Ireland. I'm probably butchering this, and I'm Irish, so, I'm sorry, my friends, I'm sorry. Kennedy Castle, dating back to the 13th century, is no stranger to ghost stories, but recently paranormal investigators snapped an eerie photo showing what appears to be a mass of energy. Some see an animal, others a cloaked figure. Either way, it's reignited chatter about lingering spirits haunting the castle halls.
We've talked about Sylvia Browne a bit, and if she's legitimate or she's not, and I have theories either way. But a long time ago, I read one of her books, and she specifically spoke on how Ireland is very haunted because of the age, and there's a lot more energy there. So if you really wanted to experience something like that, like paranormal experiences, or have that, to go to Ireland.
I think all of Europe is pretty old world.
Mm-hmm.
but I can see that. And castles, they bring a interesting vibe. I always wanted to do a castle tour. Like,
That'd be cool.
I remember going into BJ's with BJ's Wholesale Club, and there were vacation packages, and I was looking at them, and one of them was a castle getaway where they would take you on guided tours to the castle. You'd stay the night in each castle, and then when you were done with Ireland, they'd bring you to the Scotland castles, and you'd stay a night in each castle there. And I thought that would be rad.
Castles are made of different stone and stuff, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure that harnesses a different energetic vibration too.
If the walls could talk, yeah, for sure. Now let's venture into a tantalizing theory that's been making waves recently. A new documentary suggests that Jim Morrison, enigmatic frontman of The Doors, didn't die in 1971, but instead faked his death and has been living incognito in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, really?
Here in the Cuse.
Man, if you're going to hide out, this is a really good place to disappear. It's like always gray and nothing cool happens.
I had seen comments on this, and a lot of people were saying, you know, why the hell would you pick Syracuse? It's a cold tundra of shit. The city sucks. And well, that's exactly why.
Right. If you're listening from all over the country, if you're not from New York, you come here, we are very different. We don't smile and talk to each other. We don't make eye contact. We're very sarcastic. A lot of us just don't even look on the positive side.
Well, we're tough because we have to go through treacherous weather patterns.
Yeah, and in the summer, it's still like 100 degrees.
Oh,
too.
it's totally bipolar. I mean, just the other day, it was 70-something degrees when the tornado ripped through my area. And then it dropped down into like the low 30s. So it's a very strange...
We're not friendly, though.
Really? You think? I think we are, because I've been to other places in the country, and I think when you go out and, you know, you hit up a diner, how you doing, honey? How you doing, sweetie? You want a cup of coffee? They can be a little friendly.
But in comparison, though, I just know people from Ohio are way more friendlier to each other.
But people in Chicago are not, and I lived there, and they were just not. Syracuse looked like a haven compared to that.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm offending Chicagoans, but it's a little cold and a little windy out there.
When I lived in California, that was nice. Everyone was so
That's just
friendly.
over the top, though. That West Coast vibe is a little too much at times. It's like, hey, welcome in, man. You want to check out the products? It's a little too much.
Check out what products.
And then down south, it's a little too... I'm offending everyone in the United States right now, but, you know, you got the bless your heart type people.
That's all right, because I'm bashing us, so.
Well, yeah, we're all up for bashing, aren't we?
In our realm, like, we think we're nice, though. Like, we're nice for us. But outsiders are like, no, what is up with you guys? We're like, we're cool, we're chill. You say hi to me, I'll look over your way.
We also have been told that we have accents and we sound strange when we talk, like Midwestern-y kind of, which is weird to me because we grew up here. So
I think we're boring sounding in comparison.
I think so. I'd like a tough New York accent. A little. What do you got to say about it, huh? But no, we sound like,
oh, there's some strange paranormal activity happening around us these days.
that's Southern.
Yeah.
We don't have that. I think we sound more like Bobby's World. We're like, oh, what you doing there, Bobby?
Oh, yeah. Tapioca pudding, don't you know?
This documentary titled Before the End, Searching for Jim Morrison, is directed by Jeff Finn, a devoted Doors fan who spent nearly 4 decades researching Morrison's life and untimely death. The film posits that Morrison assumed the identity of a maintenance worker known as Frank in Syracuse. Finn points to several intriguing details. Frank bears a scar where Morrison had a mole, and when shown a photo of Frank, 2 of Morrison's former girlfriends reportedly burst into tears due to the striking resemblance. Adding to the mystery, Frank has a photograph with Doors drummer John Densmore on his Facebook page. However, Frank denies being Morrison, though he acknowledges that if anyone could have faked their own death, it would have been the iconic singer. From a psychological perspective, Why are we as a society so fascinated by the idea of celebrities faking their deaths and living anonymously?
I think we just got to stop deifying celebrities in general.
And while these theories are captivating and add to the mystique surrounding Jim Morrison, it's essential to approach them with a critical eye. The circumstances of his death, found in a Paris apartment in 1971, with no autopsy performed, have undoubtedly contributed to ongoing speculation. However, without concrete evidence, these remain theories that, while intriguing, are unproven. And how old would Jim Morrison be at this point, you know?
How old would he be?
That's a good question. Let's ask.
Who are we asking?
Hey, Siri, how old would Jim Morrison be if he was still alive?
He would be difficult to recognize.
He would be 77 years old.
Oh, that's not that old.
He'd be almost 80.
Yeah.
And he's working, he's not retired. He's working as Frank, the custodian.
Yeah, that's like that pastor that they say is Elvis.
Yeah, see?
But like he'd be 90.
People-
Same age as my grandpa.
Exactly. And people can have doppelgangers. They can have people that look very eerily similar to them. There's even a kid on TikTok that looks like a young Elvis. I don't know if you've ever seen him, and he tries to sing like him too.
I see humans as like breeds. Like there's, you know, orange cats, calico cats are different breeds of dogs. There are different breeds of people. They look the same.
Yes,
They
and
even
it's-
act the same.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? When you're like, damn, have I seen you before? Do I know you? Or
Yeah.
do you look like my aunt?
It's like Chihuahua people or Bulldog people or something.
They look like they're animals. Is that what you're saying?
Some of them do look like animals, but it's like we're just like humans just have different breeds too.
Here's something that's been nagging at me lately.
What's nagging you?
Well, maybe it's crossed your mind too. Cemeteries. Ever notice how you rarely see them running out of space or new ones popping up?
I've never seen a new cemetery.
No, you don't. Considering the sheer number of people passing away daily, year after year, shouldn't we be seeing sprawling new cemeteries being built left and right?
Yeah.
But we don't.
Well, I think a lot more people are getting cremated.
There are the usual mundane explanation, cremations. Cremation rates have soared in the last few decades. Some countries even lease burial plots temporarily. After a few decades, remains are moved to make space for the next in line.
Mm-hmm.
But what if that doesn't fully explain it? Because bubbling beneath the surface of the mainstream explanations, there's a far darker theory.
Ooh.
Some people, especially in more fringe conspiracy corners of the internet, speculate that unclaimed bodies or even entire cemeteries worth of remains aren't being respectfully moved or cremated. They're being diverted elsewhere, specifically to fast food chains.
Ew.
Yeah, you heard that right. There's a theory that the meat used in mass market fast food restaurants contains human remains. Some point to strange additives, mysterious supply chains, and the idea that corporations in cahoots with shadowy government bodies are recycling the dead into the food system. It's an idea both horrifying and disturbingly efficient. It's Soylent Green, Rach.
Another reason I don't eat fast food.
There are people that have caught some really strange things in their fast food, like teeth.
Yeah.
You've seen that, right?
Fingers
Yeah.
or whatever.
And that goes beyond during the processing of the meat, someone's finger got lopped off. I mean, that's a little weird to have some teeth up in there, some human teeth.
Ew.
Well, before we swear off all burgers forever, it's worth noting that there is no public proof of this. But in conspiracy circles, whispers persist. They argue, why else is there no cemetery space crisis?
That is kind of strange.
Why are the same burial grounds somehow never overflowing? And why does fast food meat sometimes seem suspiciously unidentifiable?
Yeah, sometimes that ain't meat either. I don't know what the hell that is.
Have you ever heard this theory before?
No, it does remind me of an episode of Bob's Burgers. I don't know if you ever watched Bob's Burgers.
I do. What episode is that?
You know, Mort next door.
Oh, yeah.
They said that his bodies were going into the burgers and there was like a whole big crisis about it. But then at the end of the episode, this bus shows up and they're like, "Are you serving the human meat in your burgers?" And he's like, yeah. So you can get the business.
That's messed up because sometimes Hollywood does kind of put things in your face, right?
I don't put anything past the fast food industry. They have scientists that formulate things to make food horribly addicting. I know Burger Kings are getting updated now, but the smoke that's coming out of the Burger King is not real. It's just made to look like it's from the stove, the grill.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. If hypothetically there were truth to something like this, how deep do you think the cover up would have to go? How many levels of society would need to be complicit to keep something like this hidden?
Nowadays, people are going to fight it. If they find it, if they catch wind that we have some sort of proof, it might take a lot, because I think as a collective consciousness, we could just protest this and not buy it.
I think a lot of people have. You've seen a die-off on that industry, knowing that, well, first of all, we know the food isn't exactly the healthiest.
Mm-hmm.
What they're cooking the fries in. The meat actually doesn't even contain meat. And even back to Subway using plastic in their bread. The tuna fish isn't real tuna.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of scary. And I think people, they don't trust this.
It's way more expensive now.
Yeah.
The people buy it and they're like, "Oh, I can't afford to buy my." No, it's. I think it's cheaper to buy your own food and just make your own food.
Definitely cheaper. It's actually cheaper to go get a dinner or a lunch somewhere that's better,
right,
than to go buy a Big Mac meal.
Like go to your local restaurant.
Yeah, go to your local cafe and get yourself a sandwich, and you're going to pay at least $5 less than you would for a Big Mac. Oh, I don't want to think about it. Let's steer into a topic that's been idling under the radar, but is now accelerating into the spotlight. The extensive data collection by modern vehicles.
Oh, yay.
Recent investigations have revealed that many major car manufacturers are gathering a wealth of personal information from drivers and passengers alike. A study by the Mozilla Foundation found that 25 leading car brands, including Nissan, Kia, and Tesla, collect deeply personal data such as sexual activity, immigration status, race, facial expressions, weight, health, genetic information, and driving habits. This data is harvested through various means: sensors, microphones, cameras, connected devices, and even the apps associated with your vehicle. For instance, Nissan's privacy policy indicates that they may collect information about your sexual activity and immigration status, though the specifics of how this data is gathered remain unclear. Kia's policy mentions the collection of data regarding sex life and sexual orientation. This information can be shared or sold to third parties, including data brokers and law enforcement agencies, often without explicit consent from the vehicle owner. Moreover, it's not just the car manufacturers who have access to this data. Insurance companies are also tapping into this information. Reports indicate that vehicle manufacturers share driving data with the data brokers like LexisNexis, who then provide it to insurance companies. This data includes detailed records of driving behavior, which insurers can use to adjust premiums or assess risk.
I guess, guys, you got to go back to the shady motels. No hooking up in your cars. I just always think it's even annoying enough when you get in the car and it's like, "Oh, here's directions to here." It's like when I just went and picked up food, it immediately knew my next destination was your place.
Wow.
Yeah.
As our vehicles become increasingly connected and smart, the trade-off between convenience and privacy becomes more pronounced. It's crucial for consumers to be informed about what data is being collected and how it's used, enabling them to make choices that align with their comfort and privacy preferences. Meanwhile, over in Australia, 2 beaches were recently closed after dead fish and an eerie white foam washed ashore, leaving surfers sick. Officials suspect an unusual algae bloom triggered by weather events, but naturally the weirder corners of the web are speculating chemical dumping, government testing.
There probably is some meddling of some sort. It just seems like there's a lot of stuff going on in the waters in general, and we may be trying to tap into that, and we can't, and we're just screwing up the whole ecosystem.
Mother Earth needs to shake us off like fleas on a dog.
Yeah, we haven't gotten spanked enough, and it shows.
Well, because we love a little light weirdness, Florida police recently found themselves in a slow-speed chase with a swan. This rogue bird wandered onto a busy highway, causing a near catastrophe. Officers finally wrangled the swan and restored peace. Florida, please, never change.
I just know swans can be pretty aggressive if you piss them off.
I thought that was geese, but you're probably right about the swans.
Yeah, I've seen swan attacks
Where do you find those, Rach?
on this crazy thing called the internet.
Oh, okay.
You might have heard of it.
Now, here's a phenomenon that sounds like it's ripped straight out of the pages of a horror novel. Blood rain. Recently on the Iranian island of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf, the soil has turned a deep scarlet red, leading some to describe it as blood rain. This eerie event has left locals and visitors alike both fascinated and unnerved.
Bloody rain turning scarlet red.
Oh,
It sounds like a warning sign to me.
little bit. Sounds a little apocalyptic to me.
Yeah, 'cause when's the last time we were experiencing things like this?
In our last news segment, we were witnessing rivers of blood.
Yeah, rivers
right?
of blood.
Rivers of blood. And now we've got raining blood. It's a raining blood.
Hallelujah.
I don't know how people can call that chemical
Yeah.
unless they're seeding. They're seeding something into the clouds that's causing blood to rain down.
Yeah, if they're trying to cause some sort of panic.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
Shifting our focus down under, Tropical Cyclone Alfred has been making headlines not just for its intensity, but for its erratic behavior. The cyclone took an unexpected sharp turn towards Australia's east coast, bringing flooding and other hazards to the areas that rarely experience such storms. This deviation has sparked discussions about the increasing unpredictability of weather patterns.
What makes me think of when they had that horrible flooding in Dubai, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, when they were messing with stuff.
Yep. So fucketh around and findeth out.
Amen. Chemtrails. The ever-persistent theory that those white streaks in the sky are more than just innocent water vapor. With the recent unusual weather patterns, there has been a resurgence in claims that governments are manipulating the weather through chemical agents dispersed via aircraft. Despite scientific debunking, these theories continue to gain traction, especially when the weather behaves in unexpected ways.
Well, the chemtrails, you look it up, it started in the early 1900s.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
We see it all the time.
Yeah, I have literally sent you photos when I left my house and there would just be a few lines crisscrossed applesauce in the sky. And then when I get home, maybe 20, 40 minutes, whole sky is covered in unnatural looking clouds. It was a beautiful clear sky and the sun was shining and it felt really good. And then it's just completely covered up. And then you say, oh, it'll probably rain later. And
It rains.
lo and behold, it rains.
Not only does it rain, it's like the winds pick up. My garbage is blowing around. It seems to be on certain days, too. It's weird. It's patterned. Like every Thursday night, we have to bring the garbage out. And Thursday night is when the weather gets insane.
And have you noticed lately, everyone I've been in contact with, their ears hurt, they're itchy.
They're sick.
They have weird symptoms. They don't have a virus, but they're like, my skin is itchy, my throat is weird, my scalp is irritated.
I have allergies. And then you think about the animals and the rapid rates of cancer that's happening, especially dogs. They've got their nose to the ground. They're out eating the snow, licking the puddles. We see the shit that's on our cars after it rains. That is not normal to look like a mud.
Yeah, like after the rain the other day, because I was going to take a walk, and my boyfriend's like, oh, what dog are you going to take? I'm like, I'm not taking a dog so they can walk through the chemtrail puddles.
That's right. You know, it pisses me off too because people,
Why would they do that to us?
well, maybe there's an agenda,
Right.
allegedly. Maybe there's an agenda to perhaps create gray zones. You can look that up. The UN does have plans on creating gray zones within America to push people into the larger cities. We've heard of smart cities. We're seeing the places that are slated smart cities are catching fire. Weirdly, too, like when does Myrtle Beach catch on fire? And then you've got the blue roofs and the blue cars that aren't being affected. So it could be lasers that they're using to do this, and random spots of over 200 different locations of these fires within the same radius. Then you've got these crazy, horrific storms that are almost being steered and veered towards specific locations. So what is the big push here? The big push is a control push, and they're using weather modification, which we already know exists. They have patents on it. We see it when we look up in the skies, and I still have naysayers saying to me,
Oh, those are just contrails.
no, contrails disappear.
I live by the airport. Like I see planes come in every day, all day, and they never have exhaust.
This is something I'm going to fight about, I think, for a long time until it gets abolished. Because every time I see a plane up there spraying, and there's tons of them all the time, I want to take a rocket launcher and just frickin' launch at it. But here's the thing, too. Just recently during that full moon, that big super moon eclipse, whatever it was.
The blood moon.
The blood moon. They were spraying like crazy. And what happened? We had a rogue tornado fly through the area. And it was weird the way it steered, too. It was just like all over the place. It wasn't just a normal trajectory. The thing was just zigging and zagging, and it just was beyond normal. And we don't get those here. So, yeah, anyone that says this is normal, this is not normal.
It's not.
Lastly, let's wade into the mysterious phenomenon of receding ocean waters observed at various beaches worldwide. Instances where the sea suddenly pulls back, leaving stretches of the seabed exposed, have been reported more frequently. While often attributed to meteorological events or seismic activity, some speculate about more clandestine causes, including secret governmental projects or even extraterrestrial influences.
I think the more you know, the more you know. You know what I'm saying? You think like growing up, I didn't think about shit like this at all. I was just whatever, life is life, and that's that. And then once you learn some things, you discover things.
Your eyes are open.
Yeah. So I can't not just think, okay, what's the reason? What's the agenda behind this now? Obviously, I don't drive myself insane or anything. I'm not hiding my tinfoil, but there's just a lot more going on that we just aren't informed of. And there are things now that are getting revealed, like truths are getting exposed, and a lot more people are finally seeing it. When it comes to people who are in denial about it, I think back to the interview we had with Amazing Robin. And it comes down to simply these people, like she said, if they knew or if they felt certain ways, they wouldn't be able to handle it.
Well, they can't handle it now.
Right.
Many of them.
They can't handle the thought of something being more against us or
Nefarious.
right. So they just want to be blissfully ignorant, and that's how they have to live and whatever.
Maybe they are the smarter ones for being blissfully ignorant.
Girl, I wish sometimes I was just blissfully ignorant again. Like you can't get it back. You can never get it back. And I do go back on those times. I'm like, wow, those are great times. But also you're like, no, I'm glad I do know, because now I'm just filling up that bucket face of mine constantly.
As we pull the curtain shut on this month's journey beyond the veil, one thing's clear. Whether it's dolphins spilling state secrets, mermaids on the dinner menu, or your car secretly eavesdropping, the world never stops serving up strangeness. Stay curious, stay questioning.
And remember, Whether it's old cemeteries or new conspiracy theories, the veil is always thinner than we think.
Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep your eyes on the shadows.
To the spirit
Podcast.
supernatural science
Aliens. I'm ghost.
psychic mystic
Spirits.
divine source heaven the dead. It's magic.